win a lot of games with this Winota Joiner of Forces deck. Is it as good as a budget cEDH deck? Let's find out in this deck tech. Hi, I'm Paul, I'm your host. Welcome to the first rule of Nerd Club. In this video I'm going to go through how I built the Winota Joiner of Forces deck and show you how to create your own decks at the same time. Before we start the deck tech, remember the 3 rules of Nerd Club. Rule number 1, it needs to be fun, it needs to be budget friendly, so anywhere between $50 and $70, and it needs to be able to win. Rule number 2, we don't want to waste money, so proxy the deck, proxy the Noxies so we can save the Monoxies. Rule number 3, we have no prisoners, we have no mercy. We are here to beat the other people. We're not here to apologize because you've made a move that's killed someone. No, we're here to win. So, let's get into it. First things first, we always go to Moxfield and create a new deck. So come up here. Winota Joiner of Forces. There we go. 1 second, just need to sort the rabbit out. Okay. Let's see what Winota does. So Winota, Joiner of Forces. It's a legendary creature, a human warrior. So it says, whenever a non-human creature you control attacks, look at the top 6 cards of your library. You may put a human creature card from among them and put it onto the battlefield tapped and attacking. It gains indestructible until end of turn. Put the rest of the cards at the bottom of your library in a random order. The card by itself is just amazing. The first thoughts that I had when I first read this card was, damn, that's going to snowball really fast. If you can get creatures out that aren't humans, that are attacking, you can get out a crap ton of humans really fast within the space of 1 or 2 battles. All you need is about 3 different creatures on the battlefield that aren't humans, and you attack with all 3 of them at once. That's 3 times you can choose 6 from the top of your library. So you can get out 3 humans straight away. It's just a very, very good card. So once you have thought, right, how do I want to take this deck? So I wanted to make sure that there was cards in the deck that weren't humans, that were really cheap to bring out, that was maybe combat specific, so then they could attack with haste straight away as soon as they come out, so then you could bring out humans pretty fast into the game. I always start by putting lands into the deck first, so then I know where to start. So we'll put 36, generally ballpark 36 I already start off with. Mountain. There we go. Obviously we'll change the lands around later, but that is generally where I start. Then what I do is I go to YouTube and put in obviously the commander and see what other people do, because I like to see how other people have built their decks and then think, oh yeah, I like that card, or I like the way they've done it, and then kind of take inspiration from other people, especially when you maybe not know that much about Magic, or it's just good to get other people's perspective. And as I've obviously gone through, I've seen loads of different decks for, oh yeah, this is good, oh yeah, that's good. So what I generally try and do is I'll click on one, then maybe watch a bit of the gameplay or see how they've built their deck. But if you haven't got the time for that, what you could do is you go into the show description, click on their Winota deck, and then you can obviously see their deck. This person's deck is the cEDH version. As you can see, it's going to cost you about £2,600 to buy. Let's just say that is definitely not budget. Then what we do is we come over to the cards that's in its main deck. As you can see, this person's got 44 creatures, which, you know, it's a creature, we want it to be a creature heavy deck. We don't really want many spells, because obviously we want to try and get out as many creatures attacking as possible to kill the other people. As you can see, it's got loads of different cards. Oh yeah, that's good. So, play from the top card of your library revealed. You may cast goblin spells from the top of your library. As long as the top card of your library is a goblin, that basically has the activation abilities of the card, which is good. As you can see with quite a few of these cards, they actually have, it's called a stacks effect. So what they try and do is put cards onto the battlefield that slow your opponents down so they can't attack, they can't get their cards out. So there'll be spells like it will stop them from casting more than one spell per each turn. Well, you don't really need to cast that, you just need to cast maybe one or two creatures which then attack, which then will bring out the creatures. So it's a very good deck to control other people at the same time. So as you see, there's cards in here, so you think, oh yeah, I want to keep that, oh yeah, I'll copy that. So say you wanted to do this one, obviously this is a bit harder to do. So say you wanted to put cEDH in, come back to the Winota deck, put cEDH, try saying that fast 10 times, cEDH. Then obviously go back. Now I went down a serious rabbit hole when I come to this deck. I realised that there was loads and loads of cEDH decks that it just meant to me that the commander was that good that it's worth the cEDH like title on it. So I went deep down into it and thought, you know what, there's loads and loads of cEDH. So the cards that I put in the deck were a lot of cEDH cards, because I didn't want to, you know, not do justice for the card just because I'm doing it budget style. So I actually used a lot of the stacked effects. So as you can see, we'll go down to this description, see if this person's got their deck in the deck. I'm Matt. Yep. Moxfield as well, which is even better. When people put their decks on Moxfield, it just makes things so much more simpler and better. Give it that one. As you can see, this person's called it Snowball Stacks. He's got 52 creatures. So as you can see, it's got a bit of protection, so sacrifice that, target permanent you control gains protection from each of your opponents until end of turn. Well, that's perfect, because when people see Winota going onto the battlefield, they try and get rid of it straight away. So if you've got cards that can protect it, then perfect. Okay, let's have a look what he's got. So he's got cheap ones that come out. 2 mana, 2 mana. This one here is great, comes straight onto the battlefield, look, no mana costing, Ornithopter. So this is what kind of card we want. So we want to copy that, and then we'll go over to our deck and put it into ours, because we want these cheap little creatures that aren't humans that can just attack. It doesn't even matter if they died that turn, because what we're trying to do is we're trying to get out the best human cards we can and put them into our battlefield and attacking. So there's that. He's got loads. This one here is great. Signal Pest. So basically, battle cry for whenever this creature attacks, each other attacking creature gets +1/+0. And it can't be blocked except by creatures with fly on a reach. So if the person doesn't fly on a reach, we can get this attacking every single turn without it being blocked, which then will give us the 6 cards from the top of the library, and then we'll be able to bring out hopefully a human within that 6. So then we'll copy that. Generally, this is what I do. So I'll go over all these different videos, try and find them which ones that, you know, the cards that I think will fit best into how I want to play the deck. I don't just copy the full deck, because I think that's maybe not how I want to play. So I've got an idea in my head how I want to play it. And as I said, I went down a rabbit hole with this one and found out there was loads and loads of cEDH, and they used loads of stacked effects, which I've kind of realised are really good for basically making sure that she can stay out on the board and other people get their battles and their cards out really slow. So then after I've done that, I end up with This is actually one of the decks that had quite a low amount of cards. I've had cards where I've actually gone really crazy and had up to like 300 cards that I've had to sift through to get down to 100. This one here, because I had a really clear mindset and I really went down deep into this, and I saw these EDH decks and I thought, you know what, this is good, this is good, this is good. I come to 128 cards in the deck, so I only have to whittle it down 28 cards. Then, so what I do is, first of all, I always see which is most expensive, because I'm not the most keyed up on like which cards are most expensive, so I don't even look, I just put them in and then I sift through and I'm like, right, okay, this one's this much, this one's this much. So as you can see, this Combat Celebrant, $17.99, which in my opinion, it's a really good card. But when we're trying to keep a budget deck below like $70, so we want it between $50 and $70, having a one card that's nearly 18 bucks isn't good. So first of all, we would remove this, and obviously this one here has got two, so we'd have to remove one, and then obviously that one had this one as well, so we'll remove one. So this Hero of Blade Hold, awesome card. Whenever it attacks, put 2 1/1 white soldier creature tokens on the battlefield tapped and attacking. Great, it's a human, comes out, when it attacks, you get 2 other soldiers straight away, awesome card. But, once again, it's $15.99, which in my opinion, is just too much to have in the deck. It just takes too much of the budget. So once again, that gets removed. So I'll keep doing that till I whit it down to 100. Now, after I've done the 100, I will then try to go over different decks as well. So I'm like, right, okay, that's got that. So then once I've done that, I will also, as you see, I like to try and make sure the lands are good as well. So I always add different lands in. Obviously these lands are no good because they're like $20, which we're not paying $20 just for one land. Just ridiculous. And then once I've got it down to 100, I'm thinking, right, that's okay. I'll then go to EDH rec. I like to see if there's combos here for your commander, because that's always good to see what other combos. But not just that, there's absolutely loads of different decks. So you could either go through just like different cards, picking out which one you think's best, and think, right, this one here is amazing. Attacking creatures you control have double strike. Okay, that's even better. If you can get that on a drop, so say in you've attacked and you come out with that in one of the 6s, and then you've already got like 5 or 6 different attacking creatures, and they're all, you know, maybe 3s, 4s. You have that attacking creatures now control double strike. That is just, it's a win condition basically. So say we think, yes, that's awesome. That's going to fit into our playstyle. We plus onto that. This next Legion War Boss is amazing as well. This is at the beginning of combat on your turn, create a 1/1 red goblin creature token. That token gains haste until end of turn and attacks this combat. Well, that's perfect. It's not a human. It's on combat where we want it, and it's creating a 1/1 goblin with haste and attacking. Well, say we had that out, so we decided to go to combat, we had that creates a token. Then you go to Loyal Apprentice, we had that at the same time. At the beginning of your combat on your turn, if you control your commander, create a 1/1 colourless Flutter artifact creature token that has flying. That gains that token gains haste until end of turn. Well, there you go. We've got both of them out. There is 2 tokens on combat that are attacking straight away, so we can then sift through the top of the library twice to find them creatures like the Blade Historian. So then we'll plus that on. Obviously we'll come to the clipboard. Obviously we want a lot more. We'll just copy it, come over back over to your deck. I didn't accept that one. Then you come over to the bulk edit. As you can see, we want to add more. So then we go like this. You save it, and then, as you see, the deck's starting to build up. So this is how I have designed the deck. As I've said, I've taken a lot of inspiration from the cEDH. I always tag all the decks because I like to know what I've got of what removal I've got, what protection I've got, what draw spells I've got, what ramp I've got, what's my win cons, what's my combos, what's the creatures. And so I always try to tag every single deck I make. So if you want to go to that to make it easier so you can see what I've put in what. So if you see I've got about 9 removal / board wipes, so at the end of the day we need to get rid of some stuff. We've got it in here, which is great. Then we've got combat, so these are all to do with combat. This is great. Whenever it attacks, create a 1/1 red goblin creature token that's tapped and attacking. Awesome. This Planeswalker is awesome. You put a 1/1 counter on up to 1 creature, it gains indestructible until end of turn. If you wanted to do that, what you could do is protect your Winota, or you could choose option 2, which is whenever 1 or more non-token creature attacks this turn, create that many 1/1 white soldier creature tokens that are tapped and attacking. So see, you've got 3 non-human creatures on the battlefield. You decide to pay the -2, tap them 3, then you've got an extra 3 soldiers. That's 6 Winota triggers. Imagine looking through 6 and thinking, oh, there's a decent human, put that down. Then draw another 6. Oh, that's a decent human, put that down. And doing that 6 times, your board state will literally go from nothing to, holy shit, you need to stop this board right now or otherwise you are dead. Then we've got 11 creature tokens, so these help to obviously build the board state, bringing out tokens. Like this one here, when it enters the battlefield, create a 1/1 white soldier creature token for each non-token creature you control. So if you've got 4 creatures out, it creates 4 straight away. And if you sacrifice it, it helps protect your commander. Awesome card. There we go, we've got about 41 creatures, because I say we want it more creature heavy. So we've got things like this: during your turn, spells your opponents cost 1 more to cast, and abilities your opponent cost 1 more to cast. Then there's things like this: each player can't cast more than 1 spell each turn. Non-basic lands your opponent's control enter the battlefield tapped. As I say, we want to slow our opponents down so we can get Winota out and we can build up our little bit of a board state and stop them. This here, look, creatures your opponents control enter the battlefield tapped. Awesome. Non-creature spells cost 1 more to cast. We're trying to slow the opponent down. We want to make it so they can't cast their spells. We want to make it so they can't counter our spells. And we want to be as spicy and salty as possible to stop them. This Winota deck, I must admit, is going to make sure that they target you quite quickly. So if you can stop them fast, then that's even better, because this deck snowballs too fast that they won't be able to control it. So just keep that in mind when you're playing this deck. Got a bit of a 1 draw spell. These are flavor cards. These are the things that help out towards the win. So as you see, look, Rabbit Battery, just pay 1 mana. That's your creature right there that can attacking. It's got haste. This is great. I can't pronounce it. Rogoth, son of Rogav. Nothing to pay for it. First strike, menace, trample. It doesn't even matter if it does any damage. We just want it to attack so we can trigger Winota. Same as Phoenix Chick. Awesome little card. Then we've got the Ornithopter, look. 0/2. All we want it to do is attack. We don't need it to do really any damage. It's when we bring out the humans, that's when it happens. Okay. Oh, there's another one, look. Ginger Brew. Awesome little card. Haste comes out, 1/1. If you pay 1, it can't be blocked this turn, so you can keep it even on the board. Got some graveyard hate. Obviously, to stop other people playing from their graveyards. Then we've got a bit of recursion. This generally in the cEDH decks because it's very expensive, but I kind of thought this is a good thing to bring back if we want to. If people do a bit of a board wipe, we can just get this out. Hopefully bring back some of our cheaper creatures. Obviously, this Fire Flux squad. Whenever it attacks, you may exile another target attacking creature you control. If you do, reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal a creature card. Put that card onto the battlefield tapped. Well, that's awesome. If we've got tokens that are 1/1 tokens, we just decide to exile that. Then look at the top of the library, we end up finding one of our key pieces that is going to win the game, and it can bring out an attacking. Awesome card. We've only got 6 mana rocks. You got a bit of opponent hate. This is all the cards like that. Obviously, the opponent's going to be like, why are you casting that like this? Each player can't draw more than 1 card each turn. Well, we're not really bothered about drawing cards because we are going to be sieving through the top of our library. Awesome card. There you go. Each player can't draw more than 1 card each turn. We don't care about that either. We don't want to be drawing cards each turn because we'll be going from the top of our library. Got protection, look. We need to keep our commander alive. This is a great little creature. Let's sacrifice it. Another target creature you control gains indestructible until end of turn. It's only 1 mana. Bit of ramp. We do want to get Winota out quite quickly. If we don't get it out quite quickly, we want to build a board state of stopping other people. So that's the 2 different win cons I've come up with. Well, 3. So we've got like the secondary win con. So this is if, say, you can't get Winota out because every time you do, they've either counterspelled it or they're destroying it straight away before it can snowball and get things on the board. So this is a great one. You get cEDH out. You obviously get Zealous Conscript out as well. You keep tapping, untapping, and then you've got unlimited Zealots, and then they've got haste, so they can just attack everyone in one go and just basically kill people like that. Obviously, the main win con is either get Winota out fast. So if you can get a hand that's got, say, a couple of manas in, and you've got like a couple of mana rocks, so you can get out Winota maybe turn 3, but before that you've got 2 little cheap ones like the battery, rabbit battery, or the phoenix chick. If you can get them out, say turn 1 and turn 2, and then turn 3 you've got your commander out, you can attack with them 2 straight away, and kaboom, you're in it straight away. If you can't do that, then you want to be getting cards out that slow your opponents down. They can't draw more cards, they obviously can't cast more than 1 spell, things like that. So then when you get to maybe turn 6, turn 7, you can get Winota out, and then you can start doing it because you've got other creatures on the board and attacking. Now, one of the cards I found is very, very, very good. Obviously, you've got the Legion War Boss, which obviously creates token. You've got a couple of these out, you attack with them. These cards, I'd say, are like the winning combo. Like if you can get out this Blade Historian, say you've looked through 6, you've got it out, you managed to put it on the board, and it's attacking. Attacking creatures you control have double strike. That is amazing. Then say if you're next 6, you can get this Mirror Entity out. It's a changeling, it's all cards, so basically it's a human. What you can do is pay, if you've got open mana and you pay that X straight away, and you say you've got 5 or 6 mana open, you've tapped that straight away when everything's attacking. Until end of turn, creatures you control have base, power, and toughness X+X, and gain all creature types. So if you attack with every single last one of them, not only will they get +5/+5, but all the creatures that are human aren't human as well. So then what you could do is you sieve through the top again because they're also other creature types as well. So it'll also get you, it's a snowball effect. This isn't even in the cEDH decks, or I've not seen it in any. I just saw it and I thought, you know what, that card is a finisher if you can get that on the board. That's how I've designed the deck. By all means, try it out. The link in the description for the deck is below. Then once you've completed your full deck, so obviously I've got this one here, what you could do is you go to bulk edit, select all, and then if you come to Commander Spellbook, you put your cards in there, and this finds you combos. Like I like decks with combos. Some people don't like playing them. I think combos are amazing. So as you can see, this comes up with all the different combos that's in your deck. Now I've deliberately kept cEDH in there, and I've got Village Bell Ringer. So then that's a combo where you can make unlimited Village Bell Ringers, and they've all got haste. So you've got this combo with cEDH and Village Bell Ringer. So basically when it comes in, it untaps all your creatures. So what you do is you tap cEDH, you create a Bell Ringer. Then, because it comes into the battlefield, you untap cEDH. Then you tap it again, you create another one, untap it, and keep doing that. Another one is this. We got Kiki Jiki, Zealous Conscripts. Basically, it comes out of haste. When it enters the battlefield, gain control of target permanent to end the turn. Untap that permanent, it gains haste until end of turn. When that comes out, you then gain control of the Kiki Jiki, untap it, and then you do it again. You just keep creating more and more of these. And these got haste, so these can attack straight away. Now there is 42 potential combos. A lot of them are with Kiki Jiki, because he is just an amazing card. He is one of the most expensive in the deck. He's about $10, but he is so much worth it. As you can see, there's loads of different ways you can make the combos. You can have infinite combat phases. That was that Celebrant card lot you take out, but it wasn't worth the $18. Maybe if you wanted to do an upgrade, that's definitely a card that you'd upgrade. One of the first cards, in my opinion, that you'd put in, that Combat Celebrant, because obviously you get infinite combat, infinite creature tokens, amazing. Loads of different ones. You can think, oh, I want to put this one in, put this one in. If you wanted to put this one in, look, you can have infinite combats. So great stuff. Then, once you think, you know what, I'm going to put a few of them combos in, go back to your deck, add the cards in. Then once you're finally happy with your final 100, you come over to this, which is the best proxy site I've found. You put all the cards that you've got in the 100 into here. And then they come up here. It's entirely up to you if you want to change any of the pictures. You literally just click on them, and then you think, oh, you know what, I prefer that one. I always prefer the lighter card when it comes to proxies. Just when I'm printing them off, they're just so much more clearer. And hey presto, you've got your 100. You download the PDF, and then you just print it. Simple as that. You cut them out. So this is it. You cut them out, then you put a card into your sleeve that you would think is rubbish or you don't normally use. Slide it in. Hey presto, there you go. It's as easy as that. As I say in rule number 2, you want to print the proxies out and play with it first, because you don't want to waste money. There's been loads of times where I have bought cards, played the deck and thought this deck is either shit or it's not how I want to play. And there's been many a time where I've printed the decks off and it's taken me 3 turns to try and create this deck. So I've printed them all off, played it, thought no, these cards need to be taken out. So I've took out the cards, then I've put new ones in, I've played it again. Nope, still don't feel right, taking other cards out, put more in. And it's come to a point where I've literally taken about 3 times to sort this deck out, where I think, yes, this is amazing, this is great. So proxy printing, some people don't like it, some people say, oh yeah, it's ruining the game. I don't believe it is. I believe that if you're going to play these cards and you're going to spend money on these cards, you need to know that they're the right for you, because otherwise you've wasted it, and at the end of the day, we're not wasting money. And that's it, that's my deck tech. There's a Patreon link as well, it's in the description. Supporting the channel would be absolutely amazing. There's a few different tiers. Let me know, obviously, what you think of the video in the comments below. If you want to see another deck tech, then watch this video next.